And of course, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Please remember that these meetings are recorded and they're live streamed. And many people who aren't members of the Judicial Council may be observing and listening in, including members of the media. And we're happy to have everybody who is here on the call. Remember that these meetings are recorded. There's proof of that. Ms. Clanton, will you walk us through the roll call, please?
Happy to do it. Presiding Justice Namias.
I'm here. Thank you.
Chief Judge McFadden.
Here.
Vice Chief Rickman. Judge Walter Davis.
Here.
President of the Council of Superior Court Judges, Brian Amara.
Here.
President-elect Paget. Judge Jeffrey Kite. Judge Melanie Cross. Judge Jim Sizemore.
I'm here.
Great to have you, Judge. Thank you. Chief Judge Asha Jackson. Chief Judge Christopher Brasher. Judge Fletcher Sams. Judge Van Pelt.
I'm here.
Chief Judge Sarah Rawl.
Here.
Thank you, Judge. Chief Judge Jeff Bagley. Judge Bagley. President Wes Taylor.
I'm here, Cynthia, on the phone.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate it. Judge Wong is not with us today. Juvenile Court Council President Lisa Jones.
I'm here.
Great. President-elect Greg Price, we saw earlier.
Present.
President Kelly Walk.
Good afternoon.
President-elect Thomas Lakes. We saw Judge Lakes earlier. President TJ Hudson of the Magistrate Court. Judge Quinn Casper.
Present.
Thank you, Judge. Chief Judge Willie Weaver, President of the Council of Municipal Court Judges.
I'm here.
President-elect Lori Duff.
Present.
Thank you, Judge. President of the State Bar of Georgia, Don Jones.
Here.
Great, thank you. Chief, that completes the roll.
Okay, thank you. So what I want to do today is really just touch base with you guys and give you a sense of where we are as we kind of are in this in-between stage from the last order that was issued and this wind-up period to enter into the next stage. Again, first and foremost, I want to just remind and urge everybody to urge your brothers and sisters on the bench throughout the state to continue to remain careful and vigilant of safety protocols. We've had some discussions about the mask protocols, and just big picture, it should look like anybody opening up the door and seeing your courtroom that everybody is wearing a mask unless they are engaged in something that would justify not wearing a mask. For example, if they're testifying or speaking at the time, but the default absolutely is to wear a mask. You've got distancing that will help. You've got plexiglass where it has been installed, but want to urge that. And I know there's some communities where that might be a little bit more difficult, but we need you to help push in that area. And the sheriffs have been reminded of that as well. So that's going to be really important. So that's as we are now. As we wind into the next 30-day order, I'll tell you that what we're looking at now is how to lift the suspension of the 90-day rule. Now that the grand juries are moving, that's the next logical step to lift that provision for bond on people who have been in jail without being indicted for 90 days. And so you'll be hearing about that. We've got some ideas and that we're circulating and having conversations about, and we anticipate being able to have a conversation when we meet next week and have a conversation about that. And then outside of that order, we also are working on some legislation. It's still in the concept phase, although we're narrowing in on what might be a final version, at least a beginning version for discussions with the legislature. But on the speedy trial question, the concern, of course, is that there might be a need to continue the suspension of speedy trials even after we have the authority to declare judicial emergencies. Our authority to declare judicial emergencies is coextensive with the governor's authority to declare public health emergency. And so to the extent that he no longer has a public health emergency out there, we no longer have an authority to declare judicial emergencies. And so if we need more of a suspension beyond that time period, this legislation would help address that. So you'll be hearing more about that as we move forward. I think Jennifer Dalton's on the call. I do want to thank her. She's kind of gotten thrown into it pretty quickly in her first few days on the job, working with the Department of Public Health. And so they've been able to respond to the requests that we've had to them, which was we asked for some clear benchmarks. I think they've looked at that idea and approach. For a number of reasons, that's not feasible, but they've agreed to do a number of things and offered to do a number of things for which we're grateful. I'll just tell you real quickly what those are. First, they will get to AOC on a weekly basis the DPH, Department of Public Health Situation Report news releases, and those will be forwarded to the Judicial Council as they are received. Secondly, DPH will review our task force report and our reopening guidelines and offer feedback as they can, as is appropriate. If there's anything that they think that needs to be updated or commented upon, to the extent they can offer some input on that, they will do so. And then thirdly, they will convene the district health directors and the district epidemiologists to discuss ways to help the courts. And this is similar to what's already being done with the Department of Corrections. And so we're grateful that they are finding ways to inform us as we beg for public health guidance to help you and help our stakeholders remain safe as the courts do its critical business. That's all I have to update for you, at least all I can think of for now. Judge LaGrue, I know you're here. Do you have an update from the task force, please? There you go. Judge LaGrue, you're showing us unmuted, but I don't hear you. All right. Chime in.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry. The Civil Subcommittee continues to work on guidance for virtual jury selection and virtual civil trials. The Criminal Subcommittee is working on something you alluded to, the bond issue, arraignment issue, and charging documents that we're working with you and the presiding justice on. Other than that, our work is ongoing.
Okay, thank you. And Presiding Justice Namis, do you have anything to add to what we've...
Yeah, I just wanted to be clear, when we talk about the 90-day rule, we're not talking about immediately imposing it in the next order, but potentially saying that it would be imposed within 30 days or something after that. And it may be only if you have impaneled grand jurors, but just so people don't worry that it's going to suddenly kick in, immediately, and you'd have very little time to comply. But there are a lot of people in custody, and if grand juries are functioning, then they should be at the top of the list to either be indicted or have their bonds considered.
Thank you, PJ. All right, let's go around the horn then. Chief Judge McFadden.
Nothing to report.
Judge Walt Davis.
Nothing to report. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Judge Brian O'Mara, I saw you.
Nothing to report, Chief. Thank you. And again, happy Thanksgiving.
Judge Wes Taylor, State Court.
We have nothing to report at this time.
Thank you. Judge Lisa Jones, Juvenile Court.
No report, thank you.
Judge Kelly Walt, Probate.
We have nothing to report.
happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Please wear your masks, please.
Judge TJ Hudson. Magistrate.
This is Quinn Casper filling in for TJ. We don't have anything to report. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you. I know Judge Weaver's here, Municipal Court.
No report.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Dawn Jones, President, State Bar. Okay. Ms. Clanton, AOC.
Yep. The AOC remains fully functional. And as we approach Thanksgiving, I'd like to thank the COVID task force members and the Judicial Council for their courageous and dedicated service. I'd also like to thank the judges who jumped in to volunteer for our Bill of Rights Day celebration, which is December 15th. We're going to have a panel discussion and field questions from students and teachers from across the country. And the volunteers are Chief Judge McFadden, Vice Chief Rickman, Judge Walt Davis, Chief Judge Asha Jackson, Chief Judge Bagley, and Justice Namias and Judge Amaro are on standby in case we need them. And I appreciate all of you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Ms. Dawn Jones, I saw that you came back. Are you there?
I am. I wasn't that fast with my unmute button, Chief. Sorry about that. Good afternoon, everyone. Two quick updates. One, the upcoming Board of Governors meeting for the State Bar of Georgia on January 9th will be held virtually. That entire mid-year meeting, our second largest meeting of the year, will be held virtually based on the current COVID stats and our the increasing numbers and our current red zone status. Also, and you should be getting a brochure in the next couple of weeks to register for that. Also, we are continuing to communicate directly with the court. Any firsthand accounts of concerns from members of the bar related to court proceedings being held and specific concerns about COVID-related safety. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. All right, does anybody hear from the Council of Accountability Court Judges? Judge Gosselin, are you there? Ms. Taylor Jones?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chief Justice. This is Taylor Jones with CACJ. We have nothing to report this week other than wishing everyone a safe and happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Tracy Johnson with the Commission on Dispute Resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chief Justice. We have nothing to report and just want to echo the sentiments for a happy Thanksgiving.
Ms. Tina Robinson, President of the Council of Superior Court Clerks.
This is Mike Holloman. The council has nothing to report.
Thank you. Ms. Greer, Commissioner on Professionalism.
Hi, good afternoon, Chief. Three quick updates. First, the commission met on November 13th to review and make decisions on grants. The commission decided to award 2 grants, one to the Judicial COVID Task Force for public service announcements. Justice needs jurors. The amount of that grant will be $50,000. The second grant is to a coalition of partners that put on record restriction expungement clinics throughout the state. That partnership includes the Judicial Council Access to Justice Committee, the Georgia Legal Services Program, the Pro Bono Resource Center, and Georgia Justice Project. And that grant is in the minimum amount of $15,000, but depending on the number of clinics that are held throughout next year, they could potentially receive up to $38,000. This was our first effort at grants in a long time. We anticipate opening up the process again in July, so keep that in mind, and I'll let you know more as it proceeds. I want to thank Judge Susan Edline for her leadership as chair of the Grants Committee for the Commission and their hard work in getting us to this point. The Commission will hold a CLE on December 17th. Judge Russ McClellan has has agreed to serve as the program chair. Our confirmed speakers thus far are Judge LaGrua, Judge Stephen Dillard, and Judge Shandina Cruz Morris. We'll be discussing and have others. The focus will be professionalism and technology from jury trials to social media, and hopefully will give us a chance to update on the work of the Judicial COVID-19 Task Force, especially as it relates to how they are looking at technology to address some of the issues with respect to jury trials, grand juries, and what professionalism aspects it will take for us to make it all work. We have a CLE that was scheduled for January, Unparalleled Unity. It was scheduled for January 7th, and we have spoken with all the stakeholders and agreed to postpone that till March. Our first confirmed speaker is Justice Carla Wong Millen, and I also want to thank Kevin Wilson in Chief Justice Melton's office for all his hard work on that with Don Jones, Professor Tanya Washington, our mediator, and the commission to pull that together. And I'll give more details as we confirm speakers in the next few months. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Grant. We're particularly grateful for the grant. Ms. Robin Rooks with the Council of Court Administrators.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chief Justice. We have nothing to report.
Thank you. Mr. Ashworth, ICJE.
Chief Justice, we have nothing to report. Thank you.
Thank you. And lastly, JQC, Mr. Chuck Moore.
Nothing to report, Chief Justice.
All right. Well, great. Well, folks, that's 17 minutes in. Thank you very much. We'll have more, hopefully, to discuss next time. This is a Thanksgiving that's been well earned. Please enjoy every single bit of it. Peace and safety to you and your family. Look forward to seeing y'all again. Thank you very much.
Chief Justice, would you like to have another meeting November 30th?
Yes, that's what is in my mind, November 30th.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.